All right, friends, child's pose start so that we can get the low back opened up. Hip creases should let go a little bit. Come on down. Get the forehead low. Big breath into the front, back, and sides of your body. Big inhales, big exhales. Allow yourself to get a bit more expansive. And let go a little more with each breath. I like to think about the musculature of the breathing while I'm breathing. Okay, it's kind of fascinating how everything works together. So I'll just talk a little bit about it while you're breathing here and letting yourself soften toward the ground. Let's talk about the belly for a little while. So on your inhale, notice how your belly puffs open. As your diaphragm pulls down and smooshes your abdominal organs, your muscles that hold in your belly are obliged to let go and open up. And that's nice. Just allow that Buddha belly to kind of peel open. And as you exhale and the diaphragm moves back up toward your lungs, your belly muscles kind of wrap inward. Think of kind of a basket weave of muscles wrapping inward. There's a horizontal and diagonal, and then there are transverse fibers. So everything's pulling inward. And that action wraps around to the back, to the low back as well. So think of even the low back pulling inward on the exhale. And let's talk about the rib cage a little while too. On your inhales, your big muscles on your shoulders and your chest are pulling the top of your rib cage open to expand the available space in your lungs. All the spaces between your ribs are expanding as those little muscles let go. And as you exhale and the diaphragm presses back up in toward your lungs, the rib cage squeezes inward by contracting all the little tiny muscles between your ribs. So all those muscles are working, pulling the ribs inward. So hopefully you're noticing the effects of your deep breathing on your body and your mind. Take a little time to observe your body with compassionate fascination. And then look at your mind the same way. Watch your thoughts float by. The way you would watch a beautiful animal walk by. You wouldn't try to change the animal. You wouldn't try to hold on to the animal. You wouldn't call it good or bad. You would just see a beautiful animal walking by. And as you're ready here, start to walk your hands back up by your hips. So take your time. We're just going to peel ourselves up out of this child's pose very slowly. until you're sitting on your heels, and then you can take your feet, your knees toward each other, and then if you can stand it, if it's not painful for you, tuck your toes underneath you. So maybe just do it as long as you can stand it. You might have to tuck the pinky toe under. Sometimes it doesn't want to go. Sit up nice and tall here. And we'll start to open up the front of the body a little bit more, get a little bit more twisty. Okay. So look over your right shoulder and drop your right fingers behind you on the mat, okay? Just however you want them. You can even just take them out to the side if that's more appropriate. So right fingers out to the right. Lift your hips here, sweep that left arm up overhead, and cultivate a big open space in the front of your body, maybe even between your shoulders, who knows? And then you can exhale to bring yourself down and around. And we'll do the other side on an inhale. So left fingers behind you or to the left. Right arm opens up as you inhale. Maybe peel open your chest toward the ceiling. Exhale to bring it down. Okay? And you can do this without your toes tucked under, of course. But let's take a few more rounds, side to side. Finding some nice spaciousness across the front of your legs, your hip flexors. Your whole belly gets a nice opening feeling. Chest, shoulders, okay? Nice and gentle. Use your big breath to spread open the front body on the inhale. Maybe just a few more times like that on each side, okay? Feel your spine getting a little bit more mobile. Just one more time. And then bring it back to center here. Walk your hands forward. And you are on hands and knees. Let's pick the right knee up and just circle it out, keeping the hips level for now. So keep the right hip level with the left for now. And as we circle out this hip and kind of warm it up, notice what musculature is moving the leg up. What is pulling the leg up when you do? Let's rewind that. And now let's open up the hips and make a big circle, silly circle, as you pick up the right hip and stack it on top of the left. And now let's rewind that too. All right, and go ahead and extend your right leg back behind you. Drop the toes to the floor and push back on the heel. Get a nice little calf stretch. Okay, should feel good. The more you push back, the deeper the stretch will be. And then we'll let up on that and swing your left lower leg to point out to the left. Drop that right heel and reach up with the right hand. And then you can arrange yourself into a supported side plank. I love this little posture. It's such a nice, easy little place to be, and it feels so good. So look down at your stuff that's on the floor. Make sure your left hand, your left knee, and your right foot are all in just about a straight line, okay? And then soften that left elbow so it's a little bit springy and it's not locked. Activate the right shoulder by plugging that arm into the shoulder socket, maybe spreading your fingers wide. And let's circle out that shoulder. Try to isolate this movement to the best of your ability. Okay, we want to feel all that shoulder tissue getting a little warmer. Rewind it. All right, next time the right hand points up, pause there. Come up on your left fingertips. And then use your strong right side to pull yourself all the way up to an upright posture. So once you're up here, just point your right toes out to the right. And even if you need to put a little bend in your right knee to allow that to happen and to get the right toes on the floor, no problem. Go ahead and get those toes on the floor and a slight bend in the knee. So take your arms out wide here, okay? Push down extra into that left knee. So put an extra press down in it. And I want you to feel the left hip flexor starting to maybe wake up and let go a little bit. We store a whole lot of tension and trauma and stuff in here. So let something let go in there, push down in that left knee, and we'll start to reach out to the right. We'll take our time. So take several breaths reaching out. With each inhale, cultivate a little more length in your spine, please. With your exhales, maybe reach a centimeter further. Lengthen the spine and reach a little further. Pushing down into that left knee still, okay? At some point, you'll want to put your right hand on your right leg somewhere. It's really up to you. You can put it on the foot all the way up to your hip, but please skip the knee. We don't want to push down on a joint. So find a place for the right hand to grab tightly. Do grab tightly and press into the left knee. Really push down into that left knee. Feel your hip flexor kind of waking up. That's what we're going for. Let's just breathe right here, okay? In Parigasana, gate pose. Okay, find some length in your spine here as you push into that left knee. Maybe close your eyes. If everything's going great and you want a little more, reach the left hand even further out to the right. Keep pushing in the left knee. Push, push, push. Pull your belly button into your spine and think of moving your hips in the direction that you're looking. So moving your hips forward. Breathe here. Big left side. Push into that left knee. Pull the belly button in. Maybe one more big breath here in your gate pose. And let's close the gate back up. Okay, reaching out with your left hand. Allow your left side body to pull you back up to center here. And then the left fingers come all the way to the ground. Okay, drop the outer edge of that right foot to the floor. Get a great ankle stretch. And let's get the right hand all the way overhead here. So here, think of lengthening the right side to the max. Okay, how long can you make the right side? Should feel like a really good stretch. Keep the belly button pulling in as much as you can. Maybe one more nice breath here. And let's let it go. Coming down to hands and knees. Take your hands kind of wide and your knees wide too. Maybe as wide as your mat is. And we'll circle it out. Get some nice cracks and pops out of your hips and shoulders. Let's rewind that. Okay, let's bring the hands back underneath shoulders, knees back underneath hips, and the left knee is up now. We'll circle that hip out, just kind of open it up. So keep the hips level at first. And let's rewind. Make sure to keep the belly button lifting away from the floor so that your low back is pretty neutral here. We don't want to sway into the low back too much. Now let's really open up this left hip, stack it on top of the right, make it big and silly. And rewind it a couple times. And next time the left knee points back, extend the leg all the way. Drop that foot to the floor, the toes to the floor, and push back through the heel. Get a really nice calf stretch. Okay. From there, soften up, spin on that right knee so the right toes point to the right. We'll drop the left heel, left arm up, and here we are in another supported side plank, and I'll spin around to face you. So take some time to fidget so that everything feels just right. Look, everything on the floor makes a long straight line. Double check that. Okay. And then we'll start to soften that right elbow so it's not locked. And activate the shoulder. So before we open up the shoulder, we need to activate it. So here comes the left arm, making big circles. Okay, if you're really isolating this, then you'll feel the shoulder getting warm. Rewind it a few times, maybe push through the palm. Okay, and next time that left hand reaches up, pause. Come up on your right fingers and use your strong left side to come all the way up to upright at center. Here, let's make sure we point the left toes out to the left. So pick them up, put them on the floor, pointing to the left. Perhaps a little bend in the left knee is necessary. Long arms, long spine. Push into that right knee. Push, 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 push. You'll already feel that right hip flexor starting to talk a little bit. Okay, so push into the right knee. Long spine starts to reach to the left. Let's take our time, okay? There's really no rush. We have all the time in the world. So push down in that right knee. Pull the belly button in. Keep lengthening. Keep breathing. Okay, at some point, we want to put the left hand on the left leg. Just skip your knee, okay? Anything but your knee. Grab tightly, please, and we'll get that right arm up and over. Okay, holding here, start to really push down on that right knee. Do pull that belly button in so that this movement goes into the hip flexor and not straight into your low back, okay? And maybe if you're feeling pretty good, reach your right hand further to the left. Remember your long spine and your long neck. Okay, maybe you even press your hips over in the direction that you're looking at. So, toward me. Okay. Should feel good in your low back. Okay, the right hip. Maybe one more breath here. Feels good. And coming up with that right hand, use the strong right side now to pull you back up. And we'll drop those right fingers to the floor. Right hand down. Put the left outer edge of the foot on the floor. So open up that ankle and the left hand reaches way overhead. So let's take some time here, just lengthening the left side to the max. How long can you make it? Think of pushing the floor a little bit here, a little bit active in that right arm. Maybe one more big breath in here. And then come all the way down, okay? Down to hands and knees. Again, take your hands and knees wide as the mat is, and let's just circle it out a little bit. I find it kind of entertaining to notice the cracks and pops. Okay, both ways. Make sure you go both directions. And then from here, bring your knees close together again and just sit down. Have a seat. And let's take the right leg out long. We can just think of sending it out to the right. So you can come sideways on your mat, okay, if that makes sense for where you are in your space. Come long ways, sideways on your mat. The right leg is the long leg. The left foot will pull in. And I like to think of rolling the top of the foot down and the bottom of the foot up. Okay, and we want to think of pointing the left knee as far out to the left as is comfortable. So you decide what that means for you. Okay, right hand comes to the left hip. The left arm comes up and start to drop into that left hip. So kind of like we dropped into the left knee when we were in that gate pose. Push into the left hip, lengthen that left side, and start to reach over to the right. Okay, and we'll take a moment here and just breathe. Should be feeling nice and open on that side since we did all that work already. If this is a little much and you want to back out, right knee or right elbow can come to the right thigh, and you can just kind of rest on there. Maybe the top arm becomes a cactus arm, and you peel the chest open a little bit, maybe looking up if that's appropriate. If you want more, think of drawing that right elbow all the way down to the inside of your right knee. And then you can use the elbow to kind of push on the knee and revolve that top side open again. If everything's going really well and you feel like you want to move even further, you can take the right hand to the left hip. Let the right shoulder come down toward the knee. And the left fingers can reach for the right toes, okay? They might tickle them or grab them. But wherever you are, lengthen your spine on all sides, especially that neck. And make sure to drop into that left hip. Pull it down. Oh yeah, and breathe. Big breath into that left side. Maybe one more big breath here. And as you're ready, come up with your fingertips on the floor. You can put your left fingers on the floor and press yourself back up. And we'll pick up this left knee. So pick up the left knee, point it up, and plant that left foot on the floor. And we'll turn over to face the right foot from here. Okay, squared off on that right foot. Both hands, both arms, squeezing that left knee close. So really pull it into your chest. Do your best to sit up tall as you squeeze the knee in. And from here we can cultivate a little twist. So maybe your right arm just holds the left leg and your left hand comes behind you. Push the floor down, get extra long in your spine. And look over that left shoulder. Nice twist. If you want a little more, you can try taking the right elbow to the outside of the left knee and pressing them against each other. But keep in mind that the left hip needs to stay down. So make sure to keep it down as much as you can. Long spine inhales. Belly button to spine exhales. Let your goal in each posture be the quality of the breath in the posture, rather than becoming too concerned with the external manifestation of the posture, okay, your body. Maybe one more breath in this nice twist. Feels good in the shoulders, in the back. Okay, let's bring this back around. Facing off by that right leg again. See if you can just grab the left foot and pick it up off the floor. Okay, maybe you can use both your hands to grab it And if you pick it up kind of level with your knee, you can rock around on that left glute, kind of smash out the glute on the floor. Feels kind of good. And then maybe you feel pretty good about rocking your baby. So you could fit that left foot into your right elbow, and the right hand kind of holds the calf. And the left hand can come around the other side and hold the calf too. So it's challenging to sit up straight here, but do your best to lengthen that spine and breathe. You might rock your baby a little bit. Experiment with lifting the foot up, dropping it down. And squeeze that calf into your chest. Hold your baby. Okay, one more breath here, sitting up nice and tall. And as you're ready, let this go. Allow your left foot to come down to the inside of your right thigh. So just pointing your left knee out to the left over there. Drop your fingers out in front of you and make your longest spine. Okay, you might bend your right knee a little bit if you need to, but definitely flex your left foot so that the back of the leg can get opened up, okay? Lengthen that spine and start to walk your fingers out toward the right foot. There's no rush. You have plenty of time. Okay, you can think long spine, inhale. Heart moves forward, exhale. Like you're trying to point your tailbone at the back of the room. Maybe your elbows come down, but don't feel like you need to force them to. And if you want to drop your head, go ahead and do it. Just make sure that you have a long neck. Maybe one more breath here. And take your time walking yourself back up out of this. And we'll switch sides. So the left leg will be the long leg out here on the left, and we'll pull the right foot in. Okay, so we're thinking kind of like a straddle here. So we're looking out between our knees rather than looking over at the left foot. Yeah. And pull that right heel in close to you. Okay, left hand crosses over to the right hip, right arm up, and then press into that right hip so you have a lot of length in the right side, especially in your long neck, okay? Start reaching over to the left, grounding in that right hip at the same time. So same options here. You can bring left elbow to thigh. Take it easy, maybe just open the heart up with that top arm as a cactus. Deepen it by left elbow on the floor, pressing against the knee. Perhaps left hand to your right hip again, and right fingers tickle left toes. But remember to ground your hips, okay? Take a few breaths here. Do your best to keep the neck long, making a lot of space around it. Maybe one more breath here. And then use your right fingers to push yourself back up. We can pick up the right knee here, point it up. Put the right foot on the floor, and then this is where we turn to face over to the left foot. So turn to face your left foot. Use your strong arms to squeeze your right knee in and give it a really big hug. And do your best to sit up straight. It's kind of hard when you're squeezing the knee, but do your best. Take some breath here, just feeling that knee squeezing in. And then we'll get the left arm to just hold the right leg. The right fingers will come behind you, And you can push down on the floor to make your spine that much longer and give yourself that much more space to look behind you over the right shoulder. Remember, your breath and the length of your spine are two of your primary concerns in your posture, especially in your twist. Allow the breath to fill up this posture. If you'd like to deepen this twist, left elbow to the outer right knee, and they push against each other. They both push, okay? Long spine, inhale. Big twist, exhale. Belly button to spine. Maybe one more breath. Okay, unwind yourself. And then let's see if we can use both hands to pick up the right foot. Pick it up. Do your best to sit up tall and just experiment with picking the foot up, maybe level with your knee and kind of rocking around, smooshing out the right glute. Notice how all that tissue feels. And then we'll see if we can hold on to this baby. So see about maybe putting your right foot in your left elbow, grabbing the calf with your left hand, and the right hand can wrap around too. And sit up nice and tall and squeeze, pull your baby into your chest. Maybe rock around. Find something that you maybe need to roll out in that big glute muscle. Breathe here, nice and tall. Hold your baby so close. Maybe one more breath. And then release the right foot to the inner left thigh. We're dropping that right knee, and it just points out to the right, okay? So if it's hard to sit up straight here, maybe put a little bend in the left knee, no problem. Do flex your left foot, please. Your left ankle. Fingers down, long spine. And we'll start to walk the fingers toward that foot, okay? So you're doing your best to keep your spine long. You acknowledge that it's rounding, but you're rounding with intent to be long. Maybe elbows today, maybe not. But let your head hang. Keep the neck nice and long. And breathe. Extra space in the back of the left leg. Extra space in your low back. Take your time walking your hands back up by your hips here. And we'll extend all two of the legs. Maybe lean back on your hands here and give some windshield wipers for the hips. Just noticing how it all feels. Okay, and then if you just put your fingers under your glutes, just sit on your fingertips so that your palms are under your shoulders. And drop to your elbows. And take a moment to rearrange yourself if you need to, just so that your elbows are directly under your shoulders. Okay. You can keep your knees a little bit bent here. I find it makes it easier if the feet are on the floor somehow. So use your shoulder blades to scoop your heart up. Each shoulder blade scoops up one side of your rib cage. So your rib cage is super lifted, super lifted. And keep that downward movement of your elbows so that you feel that lift in your heart, okay? Continue to do that. And we'll see if we can put a little tuck in the chin and begin to lengthen the back of the neck as if you were attempting to point the back of your head at the back of your mat. Okay. So remember to keep a tuck in your chin. You should always be able to talk here. You should always have a little space in the back of the neck. Take a few breaths here. The front of the shoulders getting a great opening. Okay, your chest opening up. Maybe one more big breath here. Push down into your elbows. To come out, pull your chin back into your chest. Move your elbows out to the side and come on down. Okay, let's take a little twist just to seal things off. Let's stack the right leg over the left. Just cross right knee over left. You can single cross at the knee or double cross at the calf, if that makes sense for you. And just drop your knees to the left. Feel free to fidget your hips a little bit to the right to get that good twist. And then look to the right. I'm just going to breathe here and just let your legs drop to the left. Make sure the right shoulder blade is down. Make sure your spine feels long. And get a sense that although your shoulder blades are grounded, you're arching your spine up off the floor. Okay, as you're ready, we'll switch sides. Bring the legs back in, untangle, and cross the other way, left over right. Maybe hook the foot behind. Okay, drop the knees to the right. Maybe shift your hips a little to the left. I find that's just a more satisfying twist. And we'll look to the left. Make sure to get your spine nice and long on all the sides. Shoulder blades ground. And then rib cage tries to arch up off of the mat here. Big breath into your ribs. Big exhales into your belly. Twists are great for recalibrating your spine and all the little muscles that attend it. And also you get a really good massage for your organs. It's very detoxifying. And let's pull the legs back in. Untangle them here. And find your resting posture. So maybe Shavasana, arms and legs long. Maybe something else. Close your eyes. Breathe through your nose. Surrender all control over your breath. Just let it be. Let it just be natural. Surrender all control over your body and just let it sink into the floor. Find the jaw hanging slack. The space between your eyebrows is very soft. And with each breath, let go of any tension that might remain. Please keep resting like this for as long as you can. Thank you so much for joining me.